Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. We're right here on YouTube Live as always. And of course, for those of you who aren't joining us live, we're also here on Roku TV via the Planet X network. And of course, Ashley Pontius is back. For those of you who may have never met Ashley over on Roku, you will see a lot of her because, of course, we do vintage content along with current content. So she comes in, she fills in every so often for us. How you doing, Ashley? Of course, you haven't been on the show in a while.
I'm good. I know I've missed you guys, but unfortunately, unfortunately, like you said earlier, I've been very, very lucky that I've been able to get a lot of shows in Delaware, Baltimore, DC. So I've been really lucky doing that.
And that's never like a bad problem to have. Like,
no, it never is, but like sometimes the quality of what you're doing, it's hard to choke down if someone's like, hey, I'm going to pay you really well, but you're performing in a trap house and just stay away from needles. And I'm like, for $200? Okay.
And I mean, that's the thing. And, because I know that from pro wrestling is that you go somewhere and more often than not, I wasn't even paid. Like, it's just kind of thing that you're sitting there wrestling and you're just kind of like, I may get stabbed by a drug needle when I walk out back. Yeah. So, it's the whole thing of, you never know what you're going to get yourself into. And of course, our guest is in the room. So I guess once he's ready to go, we'll go ahead and admit him in. But of course, everybody, thank you for everybody who tunes into Roku via the Planet X network. Our numbers are phenomenal. There's a lot of new faces out there. So we thank you for all the new faces coming in. Oh, hey, and there he is. What's going on, man? How are you? Oh, he might still be getting his audio set up. So, all right. But no, like, of course, Roku, our episodes do not stay on full time. They rotate every week. So if you don't see them within the 1 week time, make sure you go over to our YouTube page. They're all there each and every week. Of course, some other shows are being, filtered in. Some of our friends, I'm trying to get the Laugh Finder pod, right? Right on Roku as well through the Planet X network. So, I'll talk to Tommy and I'll talk to Rob from Planet X tomorrow and see how that's going, to get that rolling. But no, I mean, everything's going well. Things are always getting bigger, brighter. You always want to just shoot for the stars as much as you can. And what I'm going to do is, of course, we finished our last featured beer. So we have a new featured beer tonight, which is Honey Brown. So Honey Brown is it says Genesee Specialty, G-E-N-S-E-E Specialty. So there is no cool description, which I always like on there. But I did see it.
That's interesting because Honey Brown is what I did yesterday.
And of course, here, let's see. There's no video. So here, let me hit that. Boom, boom. So, and hey, man, and I apologize. How is it Drmagdn or how do you, I've been sitting there. Of course, we were supposed to come on last week and I ran super late at work. And it's one of the first times we ever had to cancel a live episode. And I'm sitting there the whole time thinking to myself, I'm like, how the fuck do you say that?
It's Drmagdn.
Drmagdn. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Makes sense. I like that. The little take on Armageddon, but with Drmagdn. And of course, man, like you play drums, you're a DJ, you do a little bit of everything, man. And Ashley was talking a little bit about doing some of her comedy shows. Have you ever showed up to a venue and you got there and you kind of looked around and you're like, where the fuck am I? Why am I?
I did that at one of the comedy shows, New York Comedy Club, and they had me basically drum and DJ between all the comics and everything. I set up in front at the end and everything. It was dope. It was really cool. Yeah. But I had to bring just like a couple of the drums here, just a tiny little stage off to the side and everything. And it was like, oh shit, okay, this is cool. That's one of those gigs that were cool, man.
Yeah, I remember I didn't get to do the show because I showed up late that day. But if you ICP, they do, of course, they had Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So they did a show here in Baltimore at Ram's Head Live. And pretty much they would do a song. then they would do a match, then they would do a song, they would do a match. And like they were up on the stage, but the ring was like down in the crowd, and it was fucking weird. And it's just like, you know, and like the just whole flow of everything was kind of weird because the music would just stop when like you're in everything, and then it would go to a match, and like no one really gave a shit about the wrestling. They were just kind of like, yeah, we want to see ICP back. It was absolutely insane.
I'll tell you. Oh, good.
No, go for it. Go.
I was just gonna say, I think you'd appreciate this. I'll tell you one of the worst shows I've ever done involving music. So I am a paid comedian for, you know, you or any of the listeners that don't know. So I do stand-up comedy all over the country. So this person goes, hey, we'd like to start doing regular shows at our venue. Here's what we'll pay you. Come on down. Great. So I show up, and it is an Asian restaurant. And I'm like, what is this? And they said, oh, hey, we got the money. So like, you're paid. You're going to do what we're paying you.
Please tell me they paid you in like yen or some shit.
Oh my God. No, you
Fortune cookies.
You
You're over there and says, your life sucks.
Oh man. It was a real poo-poo platter of shit. So,
hey.
so I'm like, okay, but like, they're really nice people. And I go, okay, I'm getting paid regardless, whatever. And they go, so it's not just going to be comedy. In between your act, we'd like you to also judge karaoke.
Oh
no.
And I go, I'm sorry. Karaoke will be happening in between pieces of my set. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to do like 5-10 minutes of you. And then someone's going to do a song. And then we're going to do another 5 or 10 minutes of you. And I'm like, hey, who gave you this idea? Do you guys do methamphetamines? This seems like a bad idea. And it went as they planned. And it was horrible. It was, in fact, I got so drunk because they gave me unlimited free beer. I got so drunk, I could not drive home. And I wandered onto a local farm and peed next to their horses. So
at least the horses had some company. Like
my cock was as big as theirs. It's terrible.
Now, Drmagdn, have you ever had anything like that? Like go down where like you're just kind of like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm here. Let's just roll along with it.
Yeah, man. I just did a gig. So I have a big sports hit. It's called Get Tough. Has Manny Cabo from The Voice and La Voz on the track. Horns from All the Lights, Rihanna, Kanye, and the strings from Viva La Vida, Coldplay, like epic freaking tune, big sports anthem. So they had me play the Keystone Bowl, right? And I'm literally 50-yard line, sideline right next to one of the teams. And they were actually the good team, at least. So they wind up winning, which is good. But I just set up my PA. I'm just like throwing out all these tunes. But I only had like I was running from like 2 other gigs going to 2 other gigs like on tour. Yeah. So all I had was like a nostalgia throwback set. And the shit on there. So I had like a couple sports hits, all my songs. And then I had like Miley Cyrus and shit. Party in the USA. And you have to see the looks on these football players' faces. I played the whole time. And I did the halftime show, did my featured set, but the whole time. And the funniest part is some guys are giving me angry looks and everything, but those same guys would also be singing along under their breath.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
People
remember,
can act like they don't like
it. Yeah. No, they know it. They love it. Yeah. Don't hate that you love it, bro.
and Ashley, I think I told this story before on the podcast. If I haven't, you heard it before, I apologize to anybody that's heard this before. But Ashley and Drmagdn may not have heard this. So one of the worst shows I've ever done when I did pro wrestling was, and Ashley, you may know this area because you're from PA.
I am.
Mechanicsville, PA. It was at the National Guard Armory there.
Wait, is it Mechanicsville or Mechanicsburg?
Mechanicsburg.
I know Mechanicsburg very well.
It was at the National Guard Armory, and we showed up, and there was just this weird vibe all throughout the armory. And of course, shout out to my tag partner, Blood from the War Pigs. We were the War Pigs. That was our tag team. Like we're sitting there the whole time, and like we would mainly travel based off of who was going to whatever strip club in that area. So if there was a midget stripper, Blood will be like, Ray, I got us booked on the show. We're going to wrestle match 1. We're going to leave and we're going to drink at the strip club the rest of the night.
Okay.
Because we knew we weren't getting paid anyway. So, so we get there and there's this weird vibe and we're like, I don't think anybody's going to show up. And so we sit there and we do the show. And thank God, me and Blood are the opening match. Because we wanted to be, because we wanted to go see titties. So, it's the whole thing that we go out, we do our match. There's 3 people and a dog in the crowd.
A dog.
And we're just kind of like, okay, basic stuff, headlock, whatever, all this stuff. And then, went out there and drank so much beer afterwards.
Okay. So as painful as that is, the question I want to know is, which titty bar did you go to? Because mechanics, that part of PA, Drmagdn is rough. Okay. So
I've been there. Okay. I've been on tour. Yeah.
I lived in New Bloomfield. Go ahead.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was this strip club you went to, and it was in this big house, big house. And the dance floor was the kitchen. Like you walk in and the dance floor is the kitchen, and the private dance rooms were bedrooms. And then
did you go to a brothel?
If you had to use the bathroom, it was the porta potties that were outside. If you had to use the bathroom, it was bring your own beer. Because I remember Blood going, "You leave me here and I'll figure this out." And I'm like, dude, like we drove together, we're leaving. And he's like, "Leave me here." And I'm like, okay, have a good time, buddy.
So I lived in New Bloomfield, which is like 25 minutes from Mechanicsburg. Now, there's no alcohol in New Bloomfield because it's a dry town, and I wanted to kill myself every day that I lived there. So if you went just a little bit to the left to the right, sorry, if you went a little bit to the right, you'd end up in Newport or Duncannon. Duncannon has the strip clubs because all the truckers come through there. And Duncannon has a strip club on the edge of the Susquehanna River, and it's just called The Cabin.
Yeah.
And we used to joke that you can kill one of the strippers and then just dump her in the river. It's very quick and efficient.
You're familiar with the Susquehanna. We talked about this actually on I think, what was it, Saturday. Do you know the Statue of Liberty that's in the middle of the Susquehanna? We talked about that because I saw a video on it. And I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, Pontius will probably.
I love that my bloodline is from the classiest parts of Pennsylvania. We've got a little Statue of Liberty, and we got 3 Mile Island, which almost caused one of the worst nuclear disasters in the United States. It's kind of amazing. My dad was like, I wonder if it jacked up my sperm permanently. And I was like, hey Doug, my teeth don't work and I have 3 disorders. I think your sperm got fucked up. Yeah.
At least it made you funny though. Shit.
Oh man, it's every day of my life.
and Drmagdn, of course, you travel around, so I'm sure you see some crazy shit. Of course, here in Maryland, there's all kinds of crazy shit. And I'll get into a story momentarily. But while you've been on the road, what do you think is one of the craziest things or craziest people you've ran into while you've been on the road?
Oh man, I've got a lot of stories. All right, so I was on tour with a Warner Brothers act. Okay, and his name is Out of Sight. Okay, and this is basically, I don't know what year this was. This is probably a decade ago, right? And that's when I first started doing the whole drummer DJ thing. And I'm going to get killed for telling the story, but this is freaking hilarious. So I wind up, we're all hanging out after the show, having a good time. And there's this, heavyset girl comes around and brings her friend. And her friend is actually an amputee. Okay. And they're both kind of cute, right? But they're cool, whatever, and everything. And our DJ, the guy who was DJing with us, literally starts talking him up and everything. He got no action previously on the tour. He didn't get any action after the tour, but he took them both back and started to hang out with them, right? And I'm like, all right.
They were both amputees, or was it just
one was an amputee, the other was not.
At that point, if it's
Can I just throw this out?
Yeah.
As one fatty, I think I'm allowed to say this. Do we think that she's an amputee because the fat friend ate the other half of her? Okay, go ahead.
I mean, you know what?
It's a thought I've had about my own friends. I'm just saying. I've looked at some of my thin friends and be like, you're not using those legs.
That's Life of Pi shit there. Holy crap.
Yeah, P-I-E.
Yeah, there it is. So he takes them both back and everything. He's like, guys, I just have to do it for the story. So he winds up hooking up with, both of them a little bit. But when, things get down to the lower half of the amputee, she dips. She just like is Batman and just goes out in the night, right? And he continues to throw the heavy girl and everything. And he came back and we're all like, so? It's like, yeah, man, it happened, kind of.
So that's fair. So he got 1.5 hookup.
That's it. You know what? That is like, what is it? A 1/3 of a threesome? 2/3?
Yeah, those are good fractions. Friction fractions.
The reason why I ask is, and Drmagdn, have you ever? I don't know if you've ever played here in Baltimore, but the drugs here in this city are unreal, and they're strong and they're potent, and you can tell when somebody is on drugs. So I went to 7-Eleven the other night to get cigarettes for my wife, and I'm at 7-Eleven. It's like 11:15 at night, and I walk in. There's a guy getting checked out. I go in there and I just see this like white trash white boy in there, wife beater, all that stuff. He's sweating profusely. And this was like the night where it was like nice outside. Like he's sweating profusely.
Tommy needs to take care of himself.
And he's showing the cashier his independence card. I guess he's having an issue, whatever. So I'm like standing in line and he comes over to me and he's like, hey, if you give me $20 of stuff, I'll give you $10. And I'm looking at him. Like at this point, it's 11:15. My mind is trying to scramble what's going on. And he's like, if you give me $20 worth of stuff, I'll give you $10 cash. And I just look at him like, nah, bro, I'm good. And then like the dude getting checked out, like the dude left. And like the girl who he was with, who looked like she hasn't showered in like 15 years, threw all of her stuff on the counter, was like, this is bullshit. And then she walks out. And so I look at the guy at the counter and he looks at me and I was like, why would I agree to that? Like I'm losing money in that deal. Like you might as well just be like, hey, give me $20 or can I have $20? Like, why would I like buy you $20 worth of stuff for $10 cash and I am out of $10? Like weird. I was trying to figure out this crack math like as it was happening. And I'm like, yeah, just
but he didn't offer you food stamps or anything in exchange.
Like, hey, I'll give you this, this, and this for bread, egg, milk for no, just $20 worth of stuff for $10 cash. So and I'm just kind of like, are you mispronouncing? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Can I also just say though, the craziest part of that story isn't the crackhead or his offer. It's the fact that you told your wife you're going out for cigarettes and you actually came back.
Hey,
she's beautiful. It's not a joke.
That would probably be the opposite. It would probably be that she would go out for cigarettes.
I know.
When it come back.
I thought it was funny that you're like, oh, I'm buying her cigarettes. I'm like, oh, that's her excuse. You come back with cigarettes. You're like, she's gone.
I would not be surprised.
Because she left you for me.
So Drmagdn, of course, you're a DJ drummer. So I'm guessing you do both at the same time. How does one accomplish such a feat of DJing and drumming at the same time?
That's a good question, man. Now so I've been a drummer for everyone for a million years. I've produced a ton of people, music directed a lot of big artists and all that. And when I got that gig, the Out of Sight gig, big hits on the radio and everything, they called me. It's like, can you guys, can you be my Cyborg drummer? I'm like, yeah, man, I'll do that. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
That's what I was like, Cyborg drummer. And like, kind of when you popped on the screen, like you didn't have like the arm from like the arms of Jax from Mortal Kombat. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little upset. I'm like,
oh, no, man. It's below the belt. That's the Cyborg. Oh. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's fun for everyone. Let me tell you. No,
he's like, my dick is AI.
You know what? It sings Miley Cyrus. It's amazing. It's a party in the USA.
Seems like came in like a wrecking ball.
Sure did. 10 seconds later. No, no, but they call me. It's like, yeah, be a Cyborg drummer. I was like, what's that? They're like, all right, so we need you to DJ, drum, basically hype the crowd in the mic, sing back up, run the tracks, and do it all at the same time. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that. And I had no gear. Like I only have the regular drums, right? And I just said yeah to this major label artist. And it's like, oh, when's the rehearsal? A week. Oh, fuck. Hang up the phone, run to Guitar Center, buy all this shit I don't even know how to use. I'm plugging shit in wrong. I'm looking at YouTube. Didn't sleep a week. First rehearsal I get through. Second rehearsal get through. And then the first gig is Manhattanville College. Warm-up gig. Second gig is opening for Bon Jovi. I'm like, fuck.
Oh my God.
That's how I started. And then about a year and a half in, I really got super comfortable. And since then, everyone's like, what the fuck is that guy doing back there? And it's like, oh, okay, I'll just do that alone. And I'll just throw in my own singers when I need a singer on a track or whatever, cut out the middleman. And that's what I've been doing. But basically, I drum just as crazy as any drummer. I stand, I play seated, standing. I have drums behind my head. I scream, I run around the stage, and I DJ because most of those guys press play and just put their hands up. Fuck that. I'm going to drum while doing all that. And it's super fun, and crazy gigs, like, especially if the crowd is right up on me, tons of drunk college kids will come out to gigs. They'll be falling on my gear and shit. Everything gets unplugged. I'm yelling at my tech coming, so I have to like yell, Seven Nation Army in the mic. So everyone makes it like it's a soccer match and shit, whatever. It's super fun, man. And, I got a lot of followers and all that shit from it, like 700,000 followers, all verified now. And it's dope. Yeah. 21 million plays and views. So crazy.
Like, with doing that, was there anybody, of course you said you played for Bon Jovi, was there anybody that you opened for or played with that like you were just kind of like, oh man, this is really fucking cool to be able to play on the same stage on the same bill as this band or this person?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, there's tons, but I literally just on this tour, I just played Royal Albert Hall, which is London's UK, Carnegie Hall, basically. And I played the King's Coronation weekend sold out, which was freaking insane, man. So so did that because I have a new remix that I did. It's a Beatles remix. It's actually of something, and it's official. And the cover art is no joke. Like that's my street that I live in the village.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's me, 4 times over cloned. And I don't have shoes right here, right? Just like Paul McCartney. So I have all these fucking diseases from, putting my bare feet on the pavement in New York, I'm sure. So I don't blame the toilet seat. I blame my feet on the street. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was going to say, you know what? Female comedian, my mouth has been some weird places, but like, you know what? All clean. You'll just have better antibodies now. You know what I mean?
That's what we say. That's what we say here. But yeah, so that's, so I got to do that gig and that was funny too. It was with a full Hungarian orchestra with a famous Hungarian piano virtuoso guy, composer, virtuoso. And, I do my thing, I'm on in-ears the whole show. Everything is, mapped to a click. And, I do my thing and then I'm playing with everyone there. And the funny part is they're only speaking Hungarian to each other. And I'm the only guy who needs English. So then every once in a while they'll be like,
talking shit about you the entire time. They're just like, this motherfucker over here.
Like, quick, go down to the front of the stage and bow. Like, oh shit, I have to like run, bow, come back. Okay. Yeah, we're done now. You can get off stage. Like, all right, thanks guys. It's shit like that. So
that's awesome.
Man, that's fucking cool. I didn't know you played Royal Albert Hall. Now, when you played there, like, do you get the impression that, of course, there's a lot of royalty there. Do you get the impression that they absolutely hate the Royals? Like I feel like everybody plays it up, but then they're just kind of like, I hate every single one of them.
It's not that bad. I'll say that it's similar, a little bit more amped than our politicians, right? Whatever side you're on politically, like everyone is picking their team and everything. Like I'm smack dab in the middle at this point. I'm like, I don't want to deal with either side. I was one way and now, like, fuck it, but it's that vibe.
Nice. Yeah, so not all the guys in London want to be Camilla's tampon. I got it.
I mean, that could be a fetish for some, but
Oh, well, no. Do you know that that's something that Prince Charles was caught on tape saying, like,
oh no, I didn't. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Like almost 20 years ago, they had recordings of him to Camilla when they were sort of like maybe having an affair, like they with the whole Diana thing. And he's like, I want to be a tampon inside you. And she's like, oh God, yes. And I was like, oh, I've never referred to the love of my life as the Tampax of my heart. Like that's just weird. I've never, but yeah, that's a real thing that the royalty of London, of England has said. That's...
Well, I would have picked up a t-shirt if I would have known that. Jesus.
I was gonna say, Drmagdn, how do you feel about being my Kotex with wings?
And so of course you play drums and all that. So Drmagdn, what I want to do is, of course, everything now has AI. Of course, they said that singers may not even be needed somewhere down the line. Adult stars may not even be, because they're skinning them in like Joe and stuff like that. And so comedians may not even be needed.
Well, that I'm okay with.
Everything is going AI. So what I have done is I went on to Google and I Googled robots playing drums. So we're going to watch some videos of robots playing drums, and Drmagdn, you are going to rate these robots and you're going to tell us whether or not they can make it like Drmagdn does. So here, some of these might have ads in the front of them. So let me just go ahead and pull this up and get past the ad first, which of course this one does have an ad. So let me just go ahead and hit that.
But also hear me out. If Drmagdn ever gets booted out by AI, and we were talking about titty bars, porn stars, he could become Mageddon.
Hey, you know what?
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Like, this thing doesn't even have hands.
Okay, we're not getting any sound.
Oh, there's no sound?
Yeah, there's no sound, but
no. It's probably
so you got some car parts. Dude, this is like a car factory kit, you know? And look, this is the reason why I'm a cyborg instead of just a human, right? You know, I've got to be able to do the electronic shit to keep up with the robots, because robots are everywhere, man. They're going to be in supermarkets, they just said the other day.
Actually, where I live, I don't know if either of you have seen this, where I live, we have a chain called Martin's, which belongs to like the Giant brand. And there is a robot named Marty that just wanders around in case you need help, which by helping, what he does is runs into your cart or wanders over a spill and then drags it all through the store. So he's really killing it.
So you know what?
I think since that was on YouTube, it may have muted it. So I'm pretty sure I'll look. You now have a copyright infringement.
Oh God.
But normally what I do is I pull it through my video editing thing and I play it back. I didn't do it that time. I just relied on the computer, and I was like, it totally didn't work. But that happens. That's what happens when you're live and all that shit. So, but no, like, I feel like with that thing, that if it's a live show and you boo that thing, like, that thing's gonna like reach down and like claw your child and like pick it up and like fling it across like wherever it's playing, and that's gonna be that. Like,
you know what though? Some kids actually deserve it these days. So
it's that movie Toy Story. The car. It chooses who gets admission and who does not.
So what would go into it? Let's say someone comes up to you and they're like, Drmagdn, we want you to teach AI how to drum. Like, what at that point, like, what do you walk into? Like, do you walk into a warehouse and like it's kind of like that whole spider thing there, or like it's like just like a robot like with like a mohawk or some shit like that, and you're just kind of in there and like, what is this? Like
I mean, yeah, dude, AI is kind of crazy right now. So when the pandemic and the shutdown happened, all the smart people just sat there bored and they're like, okay, let's just advance technology a decade or more. That's what we're dealing with right now, especially in music. I mean, there's literally right now, and I've started using it like 2 weeks ago for my tracks. I can sing, I've sung on different, backing vocals and all that kind of shit. But I don't sing lead like crazy, but I can if I need to, right? But I'll just mock up a track vocally for myself, send it to a good singer, and then I have a track sent back to me, and then I just pop it in and do all my production. Now I can sing myself, right, into the AI online, right, and pick Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, all these different vocal models, and it comes out very, very close to what they sound like. And then I use all my vocal tricks and production and processing to make it really sound like them. And it's this kind of crazy thing. You can literally, if you're a singer, you know, but dude, I'm a drummer. We were the first to go. Like drum machines are perfect, right?
Yeah.
The drum machines, I had to be better than a drum machine right at the gate. I'm like, crap, they're taking our gigs. Okay, well, robots, what'll happen with the AI? Yeah, they'll have robots. They'll likely do the same kind of thing that they do for movies. You know, the green screens where, you know, you're sitting there and you put all the sensors on. So then they can have the crazy movements, stick flips or whatever. And then you can program them just by the playing, right?
Yeah.
Or you could program by just typing in the code and shit, you know? And
it's at the point now that Jimmy Buffett may have just passed. However, 10 years from now, you'll be able to see Jimmy Buffett live as a hologram with an AI voice and an AI band in the background, and you will have Margaritaville forever.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing. It's insane.
Well, but let me say this, Drmagdn, don't let it get you down or get you scared, because you know what? A robot that can play the drums has never made me come. So drummers still matter. And then they don't call you like 3 weeks later and you're like, I'm not upset.
Yeah. And all you do is you hear a distant rim shot that like in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon.
Well, I was going to say, guess what? Both the robot and the drummer don't have enough money to pay for.
Hey!
So
you go on tour and they're like, all right, look, we're going to have a dual drumming. It's going to be you and like a robot drummer. Like you guys are just kind of dueling off. If you had your choice and you could choose any type, like what would a robot that you would travel around with and duel look like? Of course, I just showed the photo of Mortimer. Like, would you want something
Morty
like Mortimer? Like, I mean, look at him. Like, look, I mean, his like, I feel like he goes from that
adorable.
I feel like he touches children.
I mean,
like, I feel like he has like murdered 16 children, and he's
in rhythm.
Yeah. He's like, ask me my opinions about the Rwandan genocide. Okay. All right, Mortimer.
All right, let's see what else is there. So the videos probably won't cooperate with us. So let me, oh shit, what's this thing right here? So here's this. You have this, like, this is an actual like full out, like if you boo this robot, it will come down there and beat you with that baseball bat size thing. And then you have whatever the fuck that is right there. You have like the Blue Man group, the Red Robot group right here of like robot players and shit. So like they have a lot. Like I didn't realize there was this.
The one right there, the robot drummer in the middle right there is the one that has a mohawk also. And it has about 4 or 6 limbs. So it's an octopus, you know? So, and I've checked them all out, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, it's still pretty wimpy, right? It's the equivalent of Marty running around the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
It's not there yet, right?
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to absolutely be there and be better than anything ever, right? But it's going to take a while. But okay, yeah, so here you go. That's a guy who is a robotic arm and he has a double stick thing where he can kind of
this dude has like the fucking Freddy Krueger arm of like drumsticks. Like this thing is like a Ghostbusters like proton pack blaster.
Oh, like, Nightmare on Backstreet.
Hey, he's also fun on dates too, you know. So.
That I feel like that will give me splinters.
Doesn't work. Like I feel like this is like, what is it? What the hell was that game glove? Was it just called the game glove?
Power glove.
Like the power glove. Like I feel like the power glove from hell, as my computer gets a virus right now. But like I feel like that it's like the power glove from hell. Like,
well, can I also just point out when I see things like that, when we go, oh, we need to go green, we're using too much energy in the world. We need to, and I'm like, why are we using so much electricity when guess what? My hand can do it without electricity. I'm just throwing it out there. Just be like, oh no, we need to build more nuclear reactors so we can power our robots. And I'm like, okay. All right.
I mean, it's the same celebrities that, leave on their gigantic, huge jet that it's like creating carbon emissions. It's like, oh yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Like, all right.
That's almost as bad as, and I'm not sure if you guys seen any of it, but it's like wildfire on TikTok of Oprah and The Rock asking people to donate to Maui. And people are just kind of like, wait a minute, hold on. Oprah, you live in Hawaii. But also, both of you have more money than what any of us waking up and looking into a vault will ever see in our entire existence.
It's like me seeing a homeless person on the street. And he's like, hey, can you buy me a sandwich? And I have $30 in my wallet. And I go, yeah, give me 1 second. Lean over to the guy next to me on the street. Hey, what do you got? And he's like, I have $5. And I go, hey, can you buy that guy a sandwich? Like, what the fuck? Okay. I'm not upset. I don't hold grudges.
And I would expect better from Dwayne. Like, yeah.
Fuck you, Rock. Don't ask me for money. Okay, I paid enough for your pay-per-views. Fuck
Black
you.
Adam. Once Black Adam bombed, The Rock was like, you know what? I'm turning heel for real.
Yeah, Black Adam sucked ass.
Yeah.
I hate DC movies. You ruined the franchise.
So bad.
Also, you were terrible in Scorpion King. Their fault too. All right.
And Drmagdn, have you done any kind of soundtrack stuff? Like that's an interesting question right there. Like, have you been able to do anything soundtrack wise?
Yeah. So one of my tracks got synced recently to a movie coming out because I'm on BMG Records, major label. So that's coming out, I think early spring or something. I've got to even find out the movie name and all that. And the track is hilarious. It's a Halloween themed tune and it's called Zombie Gorpedo, right? And this track, it's cool. It, has a big drop, it's really cool. But the track itself, a female fan of mine hits me up and goes, hey, do you know what Gorpedo means? I'm like, and she's super shy, really nice girl. And I look it up on Urban Dictionary and I can't say it on the air, but it involves a bathtub and,
Ray, look it up.
You can't say it on the air, but I can. Gorpedo, after one farts in the tub or any water, poop suddenly shoots up into the mouth or the gore bubble of the gorp.
Oh,
that is our Urban Dictionary term of the night.
literally, no clue. I was like, oh, like a Gorpedo would be like a torpedo of a zombie coming from the water to kill somebody. Oh yeah, I just made it up. I gotta check Urban Dictionary for everything now. Holy shit, literally. But yeah,
you know what? You're right. Because when I got married the first time in our vows, we had Cleveland steamer.
I
was like, oh, it's not what I thought it was. I thought it was a hot dog.
Hey, but no. So I did that. That's coming out. The track is out already. Sounds great. But I did the soundtrack to Don't Worry, Darling, the movie. Harry Styles, Olivia Wilde, and all that. John Powell was the composer, and it was me, Sting's drummer, Michael Jackson's drummer, Bashiri Johnson, percussionist, and a couple other guys, and we did all the big drums and the programming of all that stuff for the whole soundtrack. So every time you see the car chase scenes, that's me. So came out really dope.
That's amazing. By the way, I've seen it. That's amazing. So great job. You did a much better than that movie did overall.
Oh my God.
I was not happy with it.
That movie was not, the movie was, I checked it out in theaters. I was like, hey, it's my name. That's cool. But that movie was a total shit show. And look, I think Olivia Wilde is great. I think Harry Styles did fine. I think every individual person on the whole team did great.
Yes.
I just think the subject matter and the execution, it's probably somewhere on the editing room floor for, some of the plot holes and shit. So
100%. But no, I saw the movie. So you did an amazing job. That's incredible to find out how much of that was you. That's amazing. But no, I think if anything we can learn from this movie, maybe don't have an affair with your actors. throwing it out there. That might be a reason sometimes your shit doesn't work out. Who knows?
I mean, the real baller move was Jason Sudeikis, the husband, literally gave her the divorce papers while she was accepting an award on stage.
That was
like that
baller.
is insane, man. Like that was
next level.
Also, everyone dragging her for her recipe. That there was some story about like how she made this marinade that on this chicken or something that made Harry Styles fall in love with her. And then when people got the recipe, they're like, bitch, you're basic. What do you mean? This made this British guy fall for you? That's not saying much. God, I love drama. You've been in the thick of it. I bet you, nothing you need to tell us, but I bet you have been on the front lines of some wild behavior and gossip in the industry. And I applaud you.
Oh, I can't even say half of it, but I've seen and heard, and I'm like, oh wow, that's going on. Like I found out some of this shit before it was going on because we were in the whole movie cycle of the thing, and it was during the pandemic too. So I'm like, please don't test for positive for COVID on the way in. Like, please, I want to do this gig. This is so cool. Soundstage. We're drumming. I'm drumming along, and then they're showing the clips of the movie. It's like, oh, the action scenes look pretty cool. And then the strings came in and did all the weird sounds. I'm like, oh, this is really going to be weird and dark. All right, well, and then I watched the movie. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's not quite there yet, but maybe someday, Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, that's fair. I do love the idea though that you come scrolling and you're just like, oh my God, guys, you're never gonna believe who got COVID. And that's the hot gossip for the day. And they're like, who?
Literally.
And Drmagdn, of course, we're here on YouTube Live. We got a couple of things in the thread. And one is, what is your favorite beer to drink? Of course, if you drink, what is your go-to? That is one of the questions in the thread.
Oh, so I'm actually gluten-free because, I'm allergic to gluten.
God
so I just can't even, I just gave up, man. So it's mostly tea and water at this point,
Well,
literally.
Now we can't even hook up because I can't give them a yeast infection.
Well, I mean, you know what? We can take one for the team,
Okay.
And Drmagdn, do you have a while to hang out? Because normally we run a little long. I know, especially, of course, anybody watching this, of course, we are on Roku TV via the Planet X network. Thank you for everybody who tunes in every week to that. A lot of new faces who have never seen the Happy Hour podcast before the last 3 weeks. So thank you for that. So if you're watching us on Roku TV, thank you. And of course, for everybody here on YouTube Live. And Drmagdn, what we're going to do real quick, of course, we get into news articles and all that stuff too. We don't always do just all questions. All that. The show just kind of goes like a little bit of everywhere. So one thing that I did see is that apparently people are freaking out because the James Webb Telescope has shown us all these fucking crazy images and shit over the last year. We just found out aliens exist, all that stuff. And apparently there is a question mark in outer space, and people are freaking out about it. And it says the James Webb Telescope recently captured a stunning new image of what scientists call a pair of actively forming stars. And it says, but eagle-eye viewers are quick to seize on an even tinier and some more intriguing detail at the very bottom of the frame, an orange formation and the unmistakable shape of a question mark, tail and all. So this is what it showed right there. So that's it. So that's
wow.
That is the opposite of the bat signal. That is the Riddler.
I was about to say, I was like, it's the Riddler.
Like it's definitely the Riddler saying, I'm coming for the Batman. Like that's 100% what that is. So like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like Drmagdn may have a little bit of competition because now we know all these galaxies inside of galaxies exist. So there's some really pissed off alien out there somewhere that discovered a YouTube video of Drmagdn, and he's just kind of like, when I come to Earth, this is where I'm going. Screw the president, screw everybody else. This guy has more talent than I do, and the world is going to pay for it.
Boys, hear me out. There's a genie out in the universe, and he's called the Zildjian.
Hey.
He's like, I'll grant you 3 wishes. You're like, make me as good as Karen Carpenter. You're like, done, because she's dead. And you're like, okay, great.
No, she was freaking awesome, actually.
Amazing.
Big loss. Unbelievable
I
vocalist,
know.
but she played like Buddy Rich, man. She
Yeah.
was massively badass. And Buddy Rich is obviously the best. Big question mark in the sky, though. Like, that seems like alien, graffiti, mocking us and shit, to be honest. Like, let's be real, guys.
We're doing that.
The aliens are like, I texted you 20 millennia ago and I still just see 3 dots. Are you going to respond or not?
Nah, man, all the aliens have been swiping right on us the entire time. Like, oh, it's Earth? Don't go there. They're bad news, man. They're like crazy over there. We're the reality TV show of the universe.
Is Drmagdn saying we're that amputee and or fat chick of the universe? And we're the last pick of the night.
Oh no, it was his first pick. That was the best part.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So
okay. All right. Never mind.
Oh my God. And Drmagdn, is there any place where, of course, you played a lot of places. Is there any place where you haven't played where you like, it's kind of like bucket list for you to play? Like, I know with me with pro wrestling, I was able to wrestle in the infamous ECW arena in South Philly, which was huge for me. I was able to do that 3 times, and for just being an indie wrestler and never making it to WWE or anything like that, even though I got to wrestle with Adam Cole and, guys who are in WWE and AEW right now, wrestling in that arena, I was just kind of like, man, like it was crazy being there. Are there any like venues or anything like that you're just kind of like, I have to play there?
Oh God, yeah. So I've done again, like I've been around for a minute. I've been able to do this for top level shit. I've played the Olympics already. I've played Carnegie Hall, Royal Albert Hall, Lollapalooza, Warped Tour. I've done all that shit, right? I haven't played MSG yet. Right.
Oh shit.
So literally I'm on the road to MSG right now. Like I'm going like, you know what? There's a band that just did this called Wolfpack. They did it themselves. They rented it out themselves. Honestly, it's only $500,000 to rent out MSG, right? I don't give a shit if I have to hand sell tickets like a comedian, Drmagdn, drummer DJ, Drmagdn on the street corner of New York.
Yeah, you get that all the time.
Yeah,
someone
literally
just shoves it into you and they're like, here, give me $10. And you're just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what this is.
I smell a mashup.
Yes.
I smell a mashup. Drmagdn and Ashley Pontius. I'm all about this. Ray, you wrestle in between.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. It's only 20,000 tickets we have to sell, right?
Yeah.
Only 20K. You can actually get away with a 3/4, 15K kind of a thing to call a sellout. Honestly, man, I've got in my contact book probably 10,000 people already. And a lot of them are New York. And I'm sure they'd come out. And I've got like tons of fans. So probably in a year or 2, I'm just going to go like, screw it. I'm just going to rent it out myself and just do it. If I don't open for a big person or I'm not to that level yet, but I am on the road to try to sell out MSG myself to really just go
world's
nuts.
most famous arena. You got to. You got to.
You got to start calling me Madison Hair Garden.
Hey! The best part is it's not on Madison Ave. It's a circle, not a square, and there's not a garden in sight.
And it's also the third one. It's the third variation of it as well. It's Madison Square Garden 3 technically, because it's got a lot of work to it. So I fell down a rabbit hole the other day on Wikipedia with Madison Square Garden, and that's how I know some of that. So Drmagdn, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, probably about 3.5 minute break. We're going to play some of our ads here on the show. Shout out to some of our paid advertisement, and what's coming up next. And then that way, if you need to get something to drink, use the bathroom, whatever, you can. And when we come back, we're going to get into our game segment, which is always the blast. So what we're going to do is right here on YouTube Live and on Roku TV, we're going to take a quick little break, get some word from some of our friends, and we will be right back here in 1 minute on Happy.
Hey, it's me, Natasha Nice, and you guys are watching the Happy Hour podcast.
screens.
Feast your eyes on this year's league.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Designs.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude. Just want to say, this poster, off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Derek over there with Curtain Jerkers Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I did.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs, and you should too.
Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out to Curtain Jerker Designs. You see that? You see that beauty? That's all you, Curtain Jerker.
Hello, wrestling promoters. The Big Val Boski wants to give you a big tip. If you're looking for a graphic designer to do your next events, promotional posters, hit up Derek at Curtain Jerker Designs.
A lifelong wrestling fan, that's all we all are. I went through the part with the reffing, and I got to a part where I did ring announcing. I did everything there was to do. I had a match. But because I have that background, that's where I stepped in and said, hey, like, I do flyers. Let me help you guys out.
Hey, this is Screamin' Rachel, and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast. Don't miss it, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the guests are going to say. It's real, it's raw, and it's Ray.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're here on YouTube Live and Roku TV. And what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to get into our featured shot, which actually I'm surprised has still survived after Saturday with Matt being here. It is Old Smoky Tennessee Salty Watermelon Whiskey, which is absolutely fucking glorious because it does not taste like whiskey at all. It has the whiskey aftertaste, but of course, if anybody knows Old Smoky, they do a lot of moonshine, and it's the moonshine that has, like, you know, pineapples in it, oranges, apples, whatever. So you know, make sure to go out pick some of their whiskey, and I'm going to do this real quick, and then we're going to get into our game segment.
And if you can't afford that, I also offer Poonshine. It's much more potent, higher alcohol content, and it will make you go blind.
Blind forever. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into our game segment. So Drmagdn, what we're going to start off with a game called Extreme Personal Questions. So there's two questions on a card, question A, question B. You don't know which one it is that you're going to get until you choose A or B. And then after you answer that question, you're going to choose myself or Ashley to randomly answer the other one. So do you want question A or question B?
Oh, question B.
All right. So question B. So question B is, what is the most embarrassing thing you have done on a date?
Oh, that's a good one. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember one night, and this was after basically, you know, a breakup, we'll call it, you know.
Okay.
This is many, many years ago, right? I felt like I was playing the same level of the video game over and over and over. I literally hung out with one girl. I met a girl on the street, hung out with her for a couple minutes, brought her back, struck out. Went out again, grabbed a different girl, brought back out a little further, struck out. And eventually, I think by the end of the night, I think it was probably about 5 or 6 girls that I brought back. And then at least I got kind of far, you know, that kind of a thing. But it was still like, and it was whatever. Because I said,
you're so exhausted.
Yeah,
you're so exhausted.
Yeah. At that point, it was hours later. But, you know, I I said stupid shit to people. I think it's fucking funny, but you know, some people don't think it's. Oh, the shy girl doesn't have a sense of humor. All right. Oh, the really crazy girl is crazy, and I'm a little too chill for her. Okay, cool. Whatever it was, but I remember that happening like I don't know, probably 12 years ago when I first started getting into the city and everything, and after breakup and everything. Yeah. So.
All right. So now we are left with question A. So Drmagdn, who do you want to choose to answer question A? Myself or Ashley Pontius?
Oh, Ashley.
Okay, great.
So, Ashley, question A is what is the most insulting thing a doctor has ever said to you?
Oh, okay. I've got the answer ready to go. Okay. So, and this is why it's at my forefront of my brain. So I just saw my lady doctor today. Everything's good. She's like, your ovaries are perfect. I'm like, thank you. I know. Okay. But so different doctor, but same like lady doctor from a downstairs for my Puss in Boots. Okay. So about 7 years ago, I was moving to Australia and I figured, hey, I'm going to lose my health care for a while. I should get everything out of the way, get checked. So I go to a doctor I don't normally go to because I'm going to get my HPV shot. Gonna get all sexy, get all clean down there, so that way I can just fuck my way around the country. And while he's checking everything, this male doctor, which I normally do not prefer, this male doctor says, "Holy shit, you've got a hell of a yeast infection down here. It's like you could bake bread." And I was like, "What the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you say that to me?"
At least he didn't come up eating a piece of bread.
He's like, aren't you itchy? And I'm like, yeah, now that you mention it, I am. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
So she starts a side hustle and makes bank over the pandemic. It's amazing, you know? No one even knows, right?
I'm an artisan puss maker.
When Drmagdn plays at Madison Square Garden, you can sell Ashley's bread.
Absolutely.
No, but he can't eat it. It'll make him sick and give him the runs and he'll get itchy. I just, the fucking audacity.
I mean, that is pretty intense.
That's insane. You can just be like, hey, hun, how you doing? Things aren't looking great down here. You want to have a talk? Who have you been with? Like we can have that talk. But the audacity to talk about my pus. I'll say a close second to that was when a doctor one time to my face was like, so weird. And I'm like, what's weird? And they're like, everything, like your blood pressure, your blood, everything's perfect. I don't get how, because you're fat. And I was
like, the fuck?
I was like, I am an anomaly. He's like, I mean, I want to tell you to lose weight, but there's nothing else. I mean, everything else is perfect. That's so weird. And I'm like, yeah, that's strange.
And they just walk out the room. That's just
they do.
It's always men doctors.
Yeah, and the best part is a lot of them are not in shape either. You know what I mean? They're just like they're just saying a bunch of shit and they don't give,
They're fat fucking pieces of shit that the minute I walk out of the room, he's gonna inject himself with Mongerno. Like, fuck you.
Exactly. Ozempic and all that shit.
Yeah, yes.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
And our next game is Never Have I Ever, which has 3 random cards drawn out of the deck. If you've done it, just raise your hand. If you want to give an explanation, feel free. If not, you're not obligated and we will not hate you for it. So the first one is, I think everybody here may have done this. Never have I ever graffitied. Never have I ever graffitied.
I never have. Shockingly.
Never have. Nah.
I've been accused of arson several times.
I've spray painted walls in apartments before.
Really?
Yeah. I've helped friends spray paint before.
I have no artistic talent at all. I could draw a stick figure maybe, but that's about it.
Same.
I'm not sure if this counts also, but like when I wrestled, I did a character called Gold Thumb. And part of his gimmick was 1 1/3 Midas touch. And I had like a thumb glove. I took a mechanic's glove and I cut it off and it was spray painted gold. So every so often I'd come down to the ring and I would have like random gold objects. Like I would have a gold cooler or like shit like, so I would have to spray paint all those. So I think that kind of also falls down into
fair. Are you gold thumb? Because
Gold member? Is this what's going on here?
Well, I was gonna say normally when my thumb is a color, it's not gold.
One of my moves towards the end of that gimmick, which wasn't long before I became Chase Rawlings, I did the Bronco Buster in the corner like X-Pac, and I called it the Golden Shower.
Oh,
I would sit there and I would be like, "Who wants to see a golden shower?" And you would hear all the kids in the crowd go, "Ah!" And then I would do the Golden Shower, and I was like, "That really just happened."
Ray, I feel terrible saying this. Ray, I think you might be white trash. It's never occurred
All
to
these
me until
episodes
today.
you've done, Ashley, and you're just now.
It's just now sinking in that I'm like, I think you might be garbage.
I did live in Dundalk for an extended period of time, and now I
Damn it. Okay, I feel stupid. Yes, you're right. You are.
So
Good.
the next one is never have I ever farted while having sex. Never have I ever farted while
Shockingly, I haven't.
Ooh.
Bananas that I haven't.
Yeah,
it's a real shocker.
That was so. The last one is never have I ever fallen down the stairs during a night out. I have. Drunk.
Nope.
I have.
I have not. I am literally the most careful ever, no matter what, because I need all my limbs to keep up with the robots, man.
No, there's a place actually in Frederick that I perform at pretty regularly called the Cellar Door, and it's down a set of stairs, and I definitely fell down those, and then about an hour later I did shit my pants. So
was that part of the act, or
no? I just have a horrible sphincter muscle, just constantly, just all the time, just constantly like, hey, think of shit, and they're like, oh.
Well, I mean, and actually, I think we talked about this when we were talking to Alex Cole. Is I got body slammed so hard on the concrete floor that I sharted. And I didn't realize it until after I drove almost 3 hours to Ocean City when I started to smell the shit smell, and I was like, that must have been from me being slammed.
I don't even need to be slammed. I was bringing Mark Norman up on stage one time, and I was like,
Drmagdn, and we're going to get into another game which is called Super Fight. So what we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. Normally we do teams, we let the live feed choose it, but the live feed's been letting me down a lot lately. So we're going to argue these out, and then we're going to decide who we think is going to be the winner of this. So there's 2 sets of cards. I'm going to read them off, and we're going to decide who we think is going to be the winner of this fight. These are randomly drawn cards. So the first one is Sherlock Holmes that's wearing a robotic exoskeleton, but also has X-ray vision. And he is going to battle a Nigerian prince that can summon an army of internet trolls and has super endurance. So, Drmagdn, who do you think will win and why?
You said X-ray, not X-rated vision, right? Okay, cool.
X-rated.
Okay, cool. I every single day of the week, I think it's Sherlock Holmes, because I think the Nigerian prince, he doesn't even exist, to be honest. But
fair.
I'm going to go with Sherlock Holmes every day.
I have to agree with Drmagdn. I have to.
I don't know. Like, it's weird because you get the Nigerian prince who doesn't exist, but he can summon an army of internet trolls. Normally, those internet trolls are the ones that he can make believe that he is indeed a Nigerian prince. However, he has super endurance, so he's very endearing. So he can make them believe it even more.
I don't know, though. Here's the thing. I hear you, but you are talking to a woman that is an expert at avoiding creditors that are constantly trying to get me to pay for shit that I don't want to pay back. And I've outlasted one of these people 7 years. I'm about to hit the mark where they have to let it go. So, like, I got to be honest. I think Sherlock Holmes could outwit anybody looking for, be like, hey, I want money from you. I'm like, guess what? I'm a dirtbag poor. Not even Sherlock Holmes. If I can avoid you, so can he.
I kind of agree with Sherlock Holmes too, because like I loved all the, and he can figure anything out. Also, he has the robotic exoskeleton, which is badass. Like And he has X-ray vision. So not alone with all the shit he can see before it goes down, he can see whoever has weapons. He can see, that the internet trolls might have, some sort of something that they may cry in the corner with before they cry in the corner because someone didn't agree with their internet opinion or,
Exactly.
something like that.
He can see through the credit card statements that they only paid $500 for my $2,000 of debt. So he knows that they're fibbing.
And now what we're going to do, our next game is called Incoherent. Drmagdn, have you ever heard of Incoherent?
In general, like the word or
the game?
No, I don't know Incoherent.
Okay. So pretty much what Incoherent is we're going to put up a series of cards on the screen, which are in drunken lingo. They're kind of like, like you ever hear someone talking kind of drunkenese? They're kind of in that lingo, and you need to sound them out and figure out what they say. And a fun thing that we do, there's either one or two things that's going to happen. Either your brain's going to instantly shut off when you see these cards, or you're going to get them like that. We bring back people every year, 30 former guests, and we do the HHPod Rumble themed after the Royal Rumble in WWE. And speaking of which, this year's winner, Jupiter Jetson, he got her HHPod Rumble Championship. So she finally received it. So what I'm going to do real quick is she sent us some photos today of
she
her
looks amazing
pod title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to real quick throw those up. So that's the first one. That is her. And that is the HHPod Championship. And that's the whole thing is we do not bullshit. When we say we are going to send you a championship belt, we send you a championship belt. Like that thing is probably about 3 pounds heavy. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe how heavy this belt is. So, make sure
you can use it like a chastity belt.
Yeah. This year, we're going to try to do it exclusively live on Roku on the Planet X. Not be on YouTube Live. We're going to try to do it on the Planet X Network live on streaming on Roku this coming June. So what we're going to do is, Drmagdn, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up these cards and we're going to see if you can figure out what they say. They do have hints on the back. So let us know if you need the hints. And also Ashley can help you as well if you do need some help. So what do you think this first card says?
Verified Hookhound. Fair if I hook.
So you're doing it right. Most people just sit there in silence.
Verify Hookhound.
One of the hints is a blue check mark.
Blue check mark. So that's verified. Verify Hookhound. Something if I look around is probably.
Verified is right. Verified is the first word.
Yeah. Verified. I'd Hookhound.
It's also the highest honor a millennial can receive.
Verified. A hug from daddy.
All of us. Well, I think my profile and your profile have this on Twitter, and people can also pay to have this as well.
So yeah, it's a verified check. Verified Hookhound. No clue. I lost the belts already. Round one.
Ashley, do you know what it is?
Well, I logically, from what you're saying, because I'm with him.
Yeah, verified.
Verified, but I'm not getting like the word check mark or anything.
Or check mark or platform or Twitter or Hookhound.
It is verified account.
Account.
So you were close.
Oh, that one's tough.
That's tricky. That was tricky.
That one's really hard, actually.
Yeah. So that is a good one to bring back during the Rumble. So what do you think this one says?
Hint stuck ramp caption.
Oh, you must just said it.
Ramp caption.
Without saying it.
Hint stuck ramp caption.
Yeah.
Caption. Okay.
But you even had the first part.
Yeah. Hint stuck ramp. Yeah, oh, Instagram caption. Gotcha.
Yes,
okay,
there
cool.
you go.
Yeah.
Caption.
I can do it, guys.
I believe in you. I was like, oh my God, he's totally not autistic.
Okay, hold on. I just read that as butt plug. Hold on, sorry.
And I'm glad you did, because that is what it is. It is butt plug.
Are you kidding?
Oh, he's getting better at this.
I knew I was full of shit.
It is butt plugs. So that is our
You and me both.
incoherent game. So we end our Ode to Humanity segment with nothing else but Cards Against Humanity. Have you played Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how Cards Against Humanity are. So of course we can't have a deck of cards in front of you. So we do it on the show as Cards Against Humanity roulette. So what we're going to do, we're going to read off the black face card, and then you're going to choose a lucky number between 1 and 6 to roulette style answer that card. If you don't like the answer, you get 2 more rebuttals to try to choose a better answer. So the first one is Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and blank. So 6 random cards drawn out of the deck, 1 through 6. What do you think jumps out at you as a lucky number? 1 through
Number 5.
Number 5. All right. So Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and my genitals. So there's that one. So do you want to stick with my genitals, or do you want to rebuttal and choose another card?
Wait, can I have them be my genitals and not yours? Is that cool?
Whatever you want.
Okay, cool. And as long as Little Miss Muffet is over 21, I'm good to go. Like,
all right. So you're going to stick with that. All right. So these other cards will go in for next time. So we're going to do another round. So the next one is Armani suit, $1,000. Dinner for 2 at that swanky restaurant, $300. The look on her face when you surprise her with blank, priceless. So
more genitals.
1 through
yes. I'm just gonna keep on yelling 5 at this point. It's always genitals. No, we'll do number 1.
Number 1. All right. So number 1 is Armani suit, $1,000. Dinner for 2 at that swanky restaurant, $300. The look on her face when you surprise her with 30 shirtless bears emerging from the fog, priceless.
No.
So,
all right, it's a pride event. Very cool.
So,
hey,
30 shirtless bears. So now 1 through 5. What do you think? 1 through 5 for?
We're gonna go 3.
3. All right, so 3. Armani suit, $1,000. Dinner for 2 at that swanky restaurant, $300. The look on her face when you surprise her with the Care Bear stare, priceless.
There's a lot of bear themes.
Yeah, this is very bear. Okay, we're gonna go number 2 instead.
All right,
we're just gonna stick with that one.
Number 2, Armani suit, $1,000. Dinner for 2 at that swanky restaurant, $300. The look on her face when you surprise her with tentacle porn.
Absolutely.
Priceless.
That's the winner.
Absolutely.
So just imagine that. It's like, I think I'm going to have the filet mignon. Okay, but sweetie, beforehand, let me show you this tentacle that's going to go into you.
I want you to put the AI in hentai.
Everyone remembers their first tentacle porn. I'm just saying. It's like once you go octopi, you never go back, right?
3.14 tentacles.
Mm-hmm. They each have a brain, by the way. They have like a mini brain at the end of every tentacle for an octopus.
I forgot that. I still have never forgiven my wife for when she sneak attacked me in Mexico and convinced me to eat octopus. And like we were at a French restaurant in Mexico on a resort, and they had octopus, and someone was like, "You should try it." And I was like, "You know what? If Jess eats it, I'll eat it." And then she sat there and she was like, "Oh," and then I was just kind of like, "Okay." And I picked up the tentacle, I put it in my mouth, and I swallowed it. And I felt the little suction cups go down my throat as I swallowed it down. And I looked at her with the look in my face of, "Why did you do this to me?" And I don't know if she likes octopus. I've never seen her eat octopus, but I know that night that she did that just to punish me.
It's like swallowing cum. You just feel all these hands just going down your throat. It's like, oh, you were almost a person. Genocide.
And Drmagdn, we're gonna let you get ready to get out of here, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show. It's a little bit different than a lot of other shows. We're kind of, a little bit balls to the wall, kind of all over the place. Where can everybody find you, man? Of course, you showed us what you have coming out, album wise and all that stuff. Where can everybody find you if they want to find you? And where can the promoters reach out to you for your Madison Square Garden show?
There you go.
20,000 people are going to come to.
It's everything is at Drmagdn, Drmagdn. And you can see it back here, Drmagdn. And it's not Drmagdn. That's my evil villain name, So I got Drmsmageddon, Drmagdn, Drum Apocalypse. I'm trying to think of what I was announced as, like a ton of things, but Drmagdn is the name. It's YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, every single thing in the world. It's SoundCloud and whatever. But it's 700,000 plus followers, all verified, 21 million plays and views. The new single, I have this is actually a limited press 100 copy record, and it's red and black because of course everything I have is red and black, that you can see right here. Only 100 of these are out. They're coming out in actually a week. So that's the cover, that's the back. Yeah, so Something by the Beatles remix. That's what's up.
That's awesome.
It's good shit, man. And if you're ever down this way, let me know, man. I would love to come see one of your shows. It sounds badass. I would definitely love to. And what we're going to do, we're going to let you get ready to get out here. Me and Ashley might hang out for a little while longer. Before you go, would you be able to do a plug for us real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and pin you real quick. So everybody watching live and watching at home will be able to see this real quick. So just basically however you want to word it, just say, hey, this is Drmagdn and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Hey, this is Drmagdn and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast. Rock and roll.
Awesome, brother. Thank you very, very much. We're going to go ahead and let you get out of here, and we'll be in contact. I'll send you a shirt or something. I like to try to send out shirts.
Oh, yeah, please. That'd be dope.
So, yeah. And man, stay in contact. Of course, this will be on YouTube Live once this concludes, and probably about like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before it hits Roku. And I'll definitely tag you and all that and let you know and all that good stuff.
Badass. Thank you, guys. You guys rock.
It was awesome to meet you.
Right,
likewise.
All right, bye. All right, so Ashley, we're going to hang out a little bit here on a YouTube Live. Of course, Roku, they give us a 2-hour kind of time slot. So I like to try to kind of fill time a little bit.
Sure.
So what we're going to do is we've been going over a list lately of 200 terms or 800 terms for the penis. 800 terms.
Oh.
We're now down into the C's. So C's, we have caber, C-A-B-E-R, caber, which I don't know what
I've
caber.
never used that. Yeah.
And then cabeza, a cactus. I don't think I would want to have my penis.
I would never want a cactus inside me.
Cactus. Yeah. Cadbury C, cojones.
Cojones. Well, that's balls though, isn't it?
Yeah. A camel toe.
Camel toe.
Yeah, that's
a puss.
I guess, like, I don't know, like, could somebody's dick
moose knuckle and camel toe are for
I'm
pussies.
sure moose knuckle is in the M's somewhere here. One says cane.
Okay.
A cannoli.
Okay.
See that? Captain Winky.
Ugh.
Yes, I've heard Captain Winky.
I have, but
I think I've heard that at, what was it?
Pet Detective.
Yes, Ace Ventura, Pet
Captain Winky.
And then Capuchin. C-A-P-U.
Capitan.
Capitan.
Capitan muy caliente.
And then I'm going to do 2 more just because I like them. The carrot. So the carrot. And then the cervix sentinel. We're going to leave it with the cervix sentinel.
I do like that.
And then, of course, there's another news article that we did not get into. And this one is a man in Jordan who tested pregnant. A man in Jordan who tested pregnant. Yes.
And he's not trans?
No. It says, shocking discovery. A man tests positive on pregnancy tests and leaves doctors astonished. It says a 42-year-old man's severe abdominal pain leads to a surprising positive pregnancy test, a shocking diagnosis, and many medical questions.
Ooh.
Yes. It says a 42-year-old Jordan man sought medical attention medical attention, suffering excruciating abdominal pain. After undergoing tests, it was revealed that he tested positive for pregnancy, leaving the doctor astounded and perplexed.
Ugh.
Additional tests ended up uncovering a startling revelation about the man's condition, further complicating the medical mystery.
Ooh.
Yeah, the patient visited his family doctor earlier this week, complaining of severe pain on the left side of his stomach. The medical team was initially bewildered by the test results, but subsequent findings were far more concerning. I feel like they're kind of saying the same thing, like 3 paragraphs, but
Yeah,
different.
they haven't told us anything.
Yes. It says, how did a man test positive on a pregnancy test? Dr. Hassoum Abu Faskah, a Jordanian histopathology expert, shared the case with Al Abraya, stating a 42-year-old man experiencing stomach pain tested positive on a we fucking know he tested positive.
Oh my God.
Which comes as a complete surprise to the entire clinic. Unsatisfied with the inexplicable result, Farska referred the patient for additional tests, ultimately revealing that the man was secreting pregnancy hormones due to a tumor that had metastasized to the liver.
Oh,
fuck.
God.
They show a photo of what it looks like. So that is it right there. That is what the cancerous tumor looks like.
Oh my God. So wait, you're telling me that when one of my friends is like, oh my God, Ashley, I'm pregnant, I can be like, oh, you mean you have a tumor?
Yes, you
should get that removed.
Tumor.
You
And
should get that removed.
It says Farskwa. What the hell was that villain's name in Shrek? Was it
Lord Farquaad?
I'm going to say Lord Farquaad because I can't say his name anyways. Further explained, following an abdominal CT scan, we obtained multiple tumor samples. Microscopic examination revealed the tumor was secreting pregnancy hormone.
Wow.
To the positive pregnancy test.
So I'll tell you something that's really interesting, and this does make sense. So we're going to get medical here on the Happy Hour podcast. So what's crazy is that there are things that men and women sort of share. So like men and women both will have testosterone and they'll also have estrogen. And one of the issues that we see a lot in today's world, now that we know about it, is that you might have women that are making too much testosterone and they have to take care of it. Or you have men making too much estrogen and you have to kind of like take it down. Or a lot of guys these days are taking supplemental testosterone in their older age to kind of keep them virile, try to protect their hair so they don't lose it. It's a very delicate balance to kind of keep things from tipping the scales, because essentially it is true that the clitoris is sort of just a tiny penis. It is. It just didn't develop.
That really does. It does indeed make sense.
So when you guys have sex with us, you're a little bit gay.
But I mean, aren't we all kind of a little bit gay?
I'm like 50% gay is what I tell my parents after I came out. I was like, I'm 50% gay on my dad's side, and he hates that joke. I'm like, I took an ancestry.com test and it said I'm a little bit gay. He's like, okay, great.
And real quick, what I'm going to do, let me go back to Twitter, because Jason in the stream, I forgot, he sent me a photo, which he sent me, and he was like, hey, you should use this. We haven't done the how did we get here segment in a while. So he sent me an image to use for how did we get here. And I thought I saved it for the last episode, but for some reason I did not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my Twitter right now. And I'm going to see if I can find that. So I'm going to go to Twitter. So Jason, we're going to do this real quick. Me and Ashley are going to do this. So just let me go to my Twitter real quick, and I'm going to put in Jason, and I'm going to see if the image will pop up. So
Jason Voorhees.
Yes, Jason Voorhees.
Voorhees.
So let's see. So let me click on that, because I know there's a way that with this, when you click on it, when you click on your own profile, it shows you what categories
I
yet.
haven't
So let me
used
see.
mine in forever. The last time I used mine was for fin-doming dudes. I have 2 pay pigs that are very faithful. So every few months they drop money in my account and I'm like, thanks, daddy.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot the guy from Smash Mouth died. Like that,
Yes.
like
Liver failure.
yeah, after his insane rant. Oh, here it is right here. So I found it. All right, cool. But no, like it's crazy because with that, like there I forgot how many songs from Smash Mouth I know.
I love Smash Mouth. I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
and like
I'm not
I
afraid.
like All Star is one of those
Greatest
that if
songs.
someone were to put a gun to my head and
Yes.
say this song from beginning to end, I could do it.
Exactly.
I can't
Well,
do
not-
that with any other song on the planet.
Not only is that like such an iconic generation defining song, but like I won't lie, I liked their other stuff. Like Walking on the Sun is a great song. Like a lot of that first album
defined by Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Like, yeah.
There's a comedian in the DC area, and I'm totally gonna say his name. Oh well, but his name is Robert Mack, and we didn't meet in person until recently. And he kind of has this 50s almost vibe to the way he dresses, and I can't help myself because I have no filter, self-control. I'm just super mentally ill.
This man from the 50s.
Oh my god! I immediately walk up to him and I go,
You want him to have like 50s sex? Like imagine what sex was like in the 50s, and you're just kind of like, I want that.
It's not hard to imagine. He hits me and then he's like, I might love you. I don't know. And I'm like, okay.
Like when you say he hits you, like, does he like, I may love you? And it's just kind of like, oh, so this is how relationships were in the 50s.
Yeah, he's got a cigarette and he's like, I might love you, slap. He's like, go back to the kitchen, you dumb bitch. But no, he's a very nice guy. But the way he dresses, I can't help myself. I was like, I walk up to him and I go, I just wanted to tell you, I loved you as Brendan Fraser's dad in Blast from the Past. He's like, are you calling me Christopher Walken? And I was like, Foo Fighters. He's like, okay, great. And then I could tell he's already annoyed. And I was like, but no, for reals. I loved you in every Smash Mouth music video. He's like, you're kind of a bitch. I'm like, yeah, I hear that a lot. But there's a type, you know what I mean? It's very ska.
Yeah.
Very like, I listen to a lot of loud horns. It's a vibe. Look, I will miss you, Steve. Thank you for the amazing music of my youth.
Yes. Aside from him completely freaking out on stage a couple of years ago, Smash Mouth has provided me with a lot of fun moments with music. So I found the photo. So what we're going to do is the first time in a long time. We're going to do How Did We Get Here? So we haven't done that in a long time. So Jason sent me this photo, and this is the photo. So this is what it is right here. He said, you should do How Did We Get Here? Yes. And like, I'm trying to kind of like wrap my brain around, like, of course, this is a Ferris wheel, but it looks like it's right outside of somebody's like Malibu home.
Yeah.
And like the windows open.
Yeah.
I feel like Johnny right here may have jumped from his window to here, and then his mom is worried about his health. So she jumped out and grabbed onto this like some sort of like crazy supermom, or that maybe
that's fair. So here's what I see. I see her trying to escape this date, and he says, I'm gonna play another Machine Gun Kelly song. She's like, I'd rather die.
I feel like that on Tinder, he advertised that he was Keanu Reeves. And when she got on the date, she realized that he, in fact, was not Keanu Reeves. And he also did not like dogs. So,
he's more like Christopher Reeves.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not crippled, but my dick is.
My dick is.
I have a crippled dick. It is in a wheelchair. Like, and I love dogs to death. But have you ever seen like a dog with like its back legs and like
it's
a
so
wheelchair
sad.
thing? Imagine a man with his dick in like a wheelchair. Like it's paralyzed. Like if I ever got to the point where my dick didn't work anymore, like I would want to put it in like a roller skate or something. Like it would need like some sort of device to like help it get around. Like,
well, let's be honest. If your dick doesn't work and Blue Chew can't help you, kill yourself.
I also like how the girl was wearing Kurt Cobain's brain scarred like flannel as
it
well.
Was a look.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Very Canadian tuxedo. It was very hideous.
And Jason, thank you for sending us that. And actually, that might be something we may do. If anybody out there wants to tweet us or Facebook us or Instagram us a photo to do how did we get here? It can be anything. Of course, actually, you know, we've done stuff where people have had arrows through their hands or, you know, a machete through the middle of their throat. And we're like, how did we?
A sonogram photo. And they're like, well, that one's easy. Ashley didn't make him wear a condom.
So it truly is fun. And actually, I meant to ask you, like, did you see our break when we went to break?
I did.
What did you think of the trailer that we did up for our upcoming guest?
It was amazing. No, honestly, you know what I thought you were going to ask me though? The trailer for the draft too.
Oh yes, shout out to.
I was like, yay!
Yes. What were your thoughts on that? Like, I'm very interested to know what that trophy is. Like I'm in it to win it for like wanting to know what that trophy is. Like, I need to know what is underneath that.
I can take a guess. No, I loved it. No, I think that trailer for your upcoming guest is super awesome. You guys get some of the most interesting, the hottest women. Like, I always say this every time I get to bring her up. Janine Jericho.
Yes.
Green Jericho. She is a fucking 10 out of 10. Not only does the work that she does amazing, she is such a phenomenal person. And I love that I now get to watch everything she's working on. And it's like she's fucking out there crushing it. She's grinding. I love all the new guests I've yet to see, like all the advertisements. I'm like, oh, not only are these women fucking crushing it, but they're making a way for other hot women. Not really me, but other hot women that are in the industry.
And what's crazy is, you know, Drmagdn, like really he's kind of like a kind of far and left field guest because we kind of found our niche.
Yeah.
Once we got the nomination for the AVN Awards,
right?
You know, it kind of took a turn. I was like, this is our this is what works. You know, this is what got us. And I mean, really, when you look at it, the guys who run the Planet X network, they did one of the main guys who runs it discovered us from our content last November from Exotica.
That's awesome.
Set up for it, and he's been following the show, and he basically came to us because I know it was the whole vetting thing. Like, this is bullshit. This guy's gonna ask me for money, you know, blah, blah,
right?
Blah. And then, like, literally, like after talking to him for a while, he's just like, no, bro, this is legit. We want you guys to help out, and it's the kind of thing that I told him. I was like, I don't really mind as much that this may kind of, you know, kind of hit our YouTube a little bit, but our YouTube's still doing really good. We just surpassed 400,000 total views, but also
that's awesome.
Like, they get the schematics, as I was saying earlier, of, and I may not have said this on air, I'm not sure, it may have been before we went on. They get the schematics of new viewers never viewed before. So we're getting a lot of new people that are coming in either for the stream or our VOD or, you know, whatever. And a lot of people don't like to watch stuff.
Right.
Like, I don't like to watch, you know, my tablet, laptop, whatever.
I don't.
My TV. Like, and
one of the things that I do, like personally, and I don't know how many of our listeners, if you guys do the same, sometimes I watch, like, I love watching like Two Bears, One Cave, or like Tim Dillon's show. I like to just visually watch, but there are so many podcasts that I actually love to sort of, I don't want to say fall asleep to, because I don't mean they're boring, but just it's so comforting to listen to them while I'm walking around my house and cleaning and I'm doing adult things. And I go, oh man, I'm enjoying myself as I listen, and I can multitask and not feel tied to something.
Yeah. And like, I'm kind of at the point now, and, you know, I'm going to say this while we're here live and while we're on Roku, I've actually been kind of debating on whether or not to just pull the plug on the audio version of the show completely. Like, I feel,
which is another thing too.
Yeah, like, I kind of feel like we've kind of transitioned more from an audio, like, podcast, to more of a video party show. Like, that's kind of what we have become. And you know, I only pay so much to upload so many episodes. I'm so behind. Like the episodes are all
Right.
back to December, like that are on the audio version, and I can only upload 6 at a time. And then when I do, it's like 20 here, 20 there, 20 here, 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it really still worth paying the money to have this audio hosting when we have Roku and we have this and we have that? And
well, and I'll tell you, like your mom's house, which is Tom Segura's main podcast with his wife, Christina P. I don't actually enjoy for that one and a couple like them. I don't like listening to them on Spotify. I specifically wait to watch them on YouTube. And that way I like get cozy in my bed at night and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see somebody get hurt.
Like, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like we've kind of transcended a little bit because of course, you know, our game incoherent.
Yeah.
You do not get the effects of that on the audio version. And like that trailer we showed, which actually I'm going to show another one right now.
Yeah.
So another trailer for another episode that's coming up. I'm going to show it right now. Let me find it real quick. And then we're going to play this for another upcoming episode that's coming up, of course. And Ashley, you've been on before during October. October is my jam. I love Halloween. So all of the October trailers are all going to have a Halloween theme.
I love it.
So the first one that we're going to see, let me real quick get to this. Okay, so real quick, I need to just transfer folders real quick because
You're totally fine. Oh, and if you don't mind me saying while I'm on, so guys, you can always follow me on Instagram at Ashley Pontius Laughs. But something me and Ray share, which is kind of how we got to really know each other, was we both love horror. And you can also follow my horror page at /and-DMV on Instagram, where it's like all the upcoming movies. I have a partnership with Warehouse Cinemas where I go in and cover the new releases they're doing. So follow me there because Ray and I love to talk about that shit.
Yes, horror is great. And of course, in October, all of our episodes are going to have the horror themes. We're going to be talking about urban legends again, just all like it's going to be our basic regular show, just Halloween themed stuff we're going to be getting into. And one of the first episodes that's going to happen in October that we've already announced, which now I'm doing these little trailers for, is going to be this episode right here, and I'm going to show it to you guys right now. And we're going to go ahead and show it to you right here on YouTube Live and Roku for you to check it out. Coming up soon. So, of course, Friday, October 13th, we're going to be live right here on YouTube Live. And I don't know how many copyright laws I just broke, but honestly, I don't care because I had fun making that. But no, so Friday, October 13th, of course, we're going to be live here on YouTube Live and, of course, on Roku TV with Sadie Pop and guest host Onyx Muse. So yeah, and everything's going to be like that. So all of the trailers for Halloween are going to be themed like that. That was actually the first one with the program that I used for it. Like you saw the one I played earlier actually had like a guy walking on fire and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
That was the first one I messed around with, was the one I just showed. So I'm kind of getting a little bit better with it to where like it has like moving like video clips and all that. And I'm like,
that's great.
Kind of fun. And the Easter eggs at the end are like how it says like the credit, like it has like all kinds of weird shit.
I love it.
Like one of them was a dick wearing sunglasses or something. Like executive like producer or something like that.
Yeah, I love one of them was like executive producer, and it's like, who knows?
yeah. And it was like it said something. It said what was it? It was like like editor or whatever, and I was like on an iPhone, honestly, like literally it's a program on my phone. I did that whole like montage on my phone. So that's the first one. Of course, we're going to have a couple more coming out that are going to drop. Of course, some of our other episodes coming up are going to have those little trailers, just fun stuff, us being us. And
I'm really excited. We just did on Quality Time. We just did a movie that I picked. I don't know if you ever saw this one. I think it came out in like 2019, so it's not very old. But we did Porno, which was a Fangoria backed film. It was I really love this movie. I think it's super fun. And may I just say, top tier titties and a dick.
I forgot what it was called. But there is a horror movie.
Okay.
Where Ron Jeremy's dick detaches from his body.
Yes.
And it starts killing people. I've never seen it, but I've seen a trailer for it. And I was just
I know what you're talking about.
I wonder if this is happening in that prison he's locked up in.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he is. He's in prison.
Yeah, but I thought he died in prison. Okay. I guess he's still alive.
No, yeah.
He's not doing great.
He wasn't doing great before prison. So I definitely don't think he's doing great right now.
But you know what I will tell you though? So besides Porno, did you get to see Talk to Me, the new A24 film?
No.
Man, listeners, right? 10 out of fucking 10.
Really?
Like I was truly terrified.
Is that the same person who did
Yes, the same group that did Hereditary, that did Midsummer,
that talks about them every so often or whatever.
Yeah, dude, they crushed this. They've already approved a sequel, which I kind of hate. Personal opinion, maybe it's the age we grew up in. But like, I want more time. I want to let it simmer before I hear there's a sequel.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, but man, I got to tell you, truly terrifying. Incredible special effects. The story was great. I walked out of that theater feeling like I was 17 again.
Really?
And I was like, oh my God, I feel so energized. I feel so scared. Now, how do you feel about the new upcoming Exorcist sort of sequel?
I don't know. Like, I do know that it switched its premiere date because my wife, since she couldn't get Eras Tour tickets, is going to go see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour on October 13th, which I remember Blumhouse said something. What was it? He said the Ericist or something like that, like, or the Swifterist or something like that. And then they said, fuck it. Once they realized how quick things were selling out for the Taylor stuff, that they were like, October 6th, which probably would have been.
Which,
but I'm excited for it. Like,
I wasn't at first.
Yeah,
I wasn't at first. And then I saw parts of the trailer and especially the ending of the current trailer that's out. And it got me jacked for it. I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. Let's go.
The thing is with that, with Blumhouse.
Yeah.
I know on like a love-hate relationship.
I know.
Bad, like, girlfriend, boyfriend relationship, because they did amazing with the Halloween remake. Came out 40 years later, was one of the best fucking Halloween movies ever made. And Kills, for me, I'm a slasher guy, so Kills was, but that abomination that was Ends, when they killed Corey, I was done. I was frustrated. And if you haven't seen it yet, go fuck yourself. But at the point where they built this whole story within the movie, they spent an hour and 15 minutes building the story of this kid, having Michael Myers see that he is evil and build this kid. The kid wears the mask and he fucking kills me. He's going to take over. And I'm like, I'm jacked. I'm like, this is it. We're still going to get the killer that we love, but it's going to be this kid. And I'm fine with it. Like, whatever. I've made peace with it. And then Michael Myers kills the fucking kid. And I'm just kind of like, and then he just dies like that. After they show him charging up after killing people. And I'm just like,
I know.
Like, did the writer's strike happen like right at the end of this movie? And just fucking threw shit together.
You know what I'll tell you? I recently bitched about this to Eric Woodworth. I've seen a lot of movies recently, I'll say in the last couple of years in particular, where they get me at first, where I'm like, oh my God, the character creation is great. The script is decent, or like the casting's incredible. They're hitting the marks.
Yeah.
And then it's like they get to the end and they just fumble the ending. And it's such a disappointment. I feel that way about Night House, which was a Searchlight production. I felt creeped out and excited through most of the movie, thinking, what is the ending going to be? And I felt so deflated. And
I felt
then
that way with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh God.
Like, I honestly kind of like that. And then they made it to the end. I was like,
no, it's been a pattern. And then a couple weeks ago, I will protect this one in case it is pretty new, so I don't want to ruin it for any listeners. But there is a newer movie out called Cobweb.
Okay.
And it's Lizzie Kaplan and the dude that plays Homelander from The Boys. It's a great cast, by the way. There are parts in it building up through this movie that I'm like, oh, this is scary. This is creepy. What the fuck is going to be going on in this movie? And then I get to the ending. The CGI sucks and the plot is dog shit. And I was like, I paid for this.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Like Jess is an avid reader. Like she'll like, I'm not a big reader. She's an avid reader, but she gets that a lot of times with some of these books, like these critically acclaimed books or these bestsellers. And she'll sit there and she'll be like, I didn't like it wasn't a good read. Like, and she's like, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, just some of them are like that. Like some people are just so cult following for like,
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I'm so glad you brought up books. So I'm reading a horror book right now that so far, listeners, I highly fucking recommend. I bought this book truly because it was on sale at Barnes & Noble for 50% off. But the name of the book was so catchy. This is someone's debut novel, first novel they've ever written. It's called The God of Endings.
Okay.
And it is a vampire book. That's all I'll say. And it fucking kicks ass. It's like Anne Rice gave birth to Jesus if Jesus was a vampire. Ew. This is perfect.
No. Have you ever, of course, we've had a shout out to David Gilbert. We've had him on the show a couple of times, and he writes horror books.
That's awesome.
He had A Serpent's Love. He has Merchant's Blood, which is a vampire based in the Civil War thing.
That's a good one.
Like, so like he has all kinds. So shout out to David Gilbert. He was part of the HHPod Rumble, him and his daughter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
oh my God, that's awesome.
Look up David D.A. Gilbert. And
I'm very excited this season. I'm trying to get back into reading because I love, you know me, I love watching movies. I love TV, but like, I feel like my brain occasionally starts to feel like I'm rotting and like I'm not using other skills. So I will tell you the other two books that I'm super excited to get into, and they're right next to me. One is by Eric LaRocca. It's Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke.
Okay.
So it's a short stories horror. Looking forward to getting into that. The other one has been out for a while, but I read Grady Hettrix's My Best Friend's Exorcism, which they turned into an Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah.
But he also wrote one called Horror Store, which takes place in like an IKEA. So I'm super excited.
That's the Wayfair warehouse.
Yeah.
That when they're transporting the human traffic. That's what it is. It's hard.
Man, I love me an Aldi. Even if Aldi was like, hey, we're selling body parts in the frozen section, I'd be like, don't care. Your price on flowers, $4.99 a pod. Get out.
You know who has good prices? Trader Joe's.
I don't live near a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's has amazing price. Like we literally bought about like $300 worth of groceries for about like $120 at Trader Joe's.
No way. No, I've always wanted one. We don't have one, but I do sometimes sell my body and they call me Trader Hose. So
and actually you've seen it before. Of course, we've sent you one. You have your own. And I don't know if we'll be able to get it done in time, and I know the guy who did our last one, he's super busy, but I'm trying to get a new Halloween themed HHPod logo done.
I wear mine all the time.
And can you guess? And I like, of course, Return of the Living Dead. It's not obscure, but it's not like someone goes to all the time. What other movie do you think we would do? And it's only me and Matt this time. So think of a movie where it can have two people on the front with their faces. What we could parody.
Okay, it's probably not a good guess, but I'm still gonna guess it. Motel Hell?
No.
Okay. Is it gonna be really obscure to other people or very popular?
Very popular, obscure.
two people, Freddy versus Jason?
No. I will give you a hint. There's a lot of green in the background and in the title.
A green in the title.
I will spill the beans.
Yeah, I can't.
I am trying to get a new image done of a parody of Reanimator. And it's me standing there as Herbert West.
Yes.
Needle, but it has beer in it. And there's a beer thing there. And Matt's head is in the thing. And I forgot what I had for the quote or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he has a bigger problem because he has like a head.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a bigger problem because not only is there a lot of head in this beer, but there's also a head on his desk. And
oh my God, I love it. HP Love Draft.
Yes. Yes. And like, hopefully, I'm hoping Steve has the time to get to it or whatever and all that. But if that's the case, I'm going to put it on a green shirt and I'm going to try to release it before Halloween.
I love that.
But yeah, so yeah, Reanimator with that. And it would literally say the Happy Hour podcast and like Reanimator font or whatever. And
that's awesome. Yeah, listeners, if you now I forget, do you still have those like the old ones for sale?
Yes. Yes. Okay. All of our shirts, we have about 35 designs available.
Okay.
And that's one of the most popular ones. Of course,
I love it.
T-shirt brands. We are now with 1 Hour Tees, which is also owned by Pro Wrestling Tees.
Which is that the one that I have, that brand?
Yes.
Yes. So listeners, so soft. I love this shirt. I wear it at least once a week.
Yes. The one I sent you, like, I think when you got it, did it come in like what was it, like just a regular like envelope and it had like a bunch of like logos on the front?
I think so, but the packaging was great. Like it was well protected. Just I cannot believe how soft it is. Like I love how soft, and the design, by the way, several washes, the color is still perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, like this one was through Teespring. So
okay.
Teespring anymore. Teespring was like a really like in-depth iron on.
Yeah.
Have now with below the collar / Pro Wrestling Tees is 100% green print.
Yeah.
Make sure to go over to hhpod.com, go to our shop. It takes you right over to there, and that's where you can get our Return of the Living Dead parody shirt, which has myself, our old host Mike, Matt, Tommy Sambazo, Eric Woodworth, Blood, and our good old friend Socrates, all zombies on the front of this shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
And around Christmas time, I was actually thinking about doing what was it? There was something around Christmas. I was like, that would be hilarious to do. I saw like an image. I think it might have been Home Alone.
Oh, and that would be fun.
All of our faces on like Home Alone or whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah. What about Gremlin style, all in the movie theater?
Oh, that would
be fucking
like
cool.
Everybody's a gremlin or whatever.
I would love that.
Yeah. So
that was one I would own.
Talented, but you know, I give him a lot of credit. Like he gives us
a lot of work
deal on, you know, those images and, you know, because he designs book like covers, like
that's awesome.
Book covers and, you know, all that good shit. But what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get ready to conclude here on YouTube Live. Ashley, thank you so much for coming in and guest hosting with us. And what I'm going to do real quick is before we get out here, I'm going to show the trailer for next week's episode again. So for those of you who are here, make sure you tune in this coming Sunday at 7:00 p.m. And actually it's not here. So we have it on our social medias. I just don't feel like moving folders around again, but no. So make sure you go over and tune in next Sunday right here at 5:00 p.m. And actually, you know what? I do have it, so I am going to play it. I forgot that it's in a different folder, so let me just go ahead and hit this and boom. And actually, I'm wrong. I am wrong. So so what we're going to do, Ashley, of course, where can everybody find you if they want to find your comedy, and what all do you have coming up?
So you guys can always find me at ashleypontiuslaughs.com, and you can find me under Ashley Pontius Laughs on Instagram. If you're interested in my horror stuff, you can find me a Slash and Gash DMV. Let's see. So right now, my September is shockingly a little bit slower, but I'm not totally complaining because I'm exhausted from August. But I will be headlining. More information to come September 28th in Delaware, and then September 29th, I will be doing a self-produced show in York, PA. Tickets are only $10.
Nice. Well, Ashley, as always, we thank you. And what we're going to do is we're going to conclude here on the Happy Hour podcast with the trailer I now finally found. And we will see you guys next Sunday. Once that concludes, we'll be all wrapped up here on the Happy Hour podcast. And we will see you guys this coming Sunday right here on YouTube Live and Roku TV. Unsupported format. So we're just going to go ahead and finish off, and we will see you guys Sunday at 5:00 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live.